Hi, everybody. It's Elaine here, the Animal Reiki Lady, and I am coming to you live today to talk about a topic that most do not want to talk about. First of all, my name is Elaine. I'm the Animal Reiki Lady, and I help people make deeper, more personal connections with their animal companions, with the animals in their life. I teach it. I also work with private clients, and my specialty has become helping people and pets as they prepare for and cope with pet loss. So, animals who are terminally ill, animals who are aging, those animal companions, when we receive that type of diagnosis, becomes a very stressful situation. So, I help people manage through that. I help create a space and open a space for pets and people that helps the pet not only manage their potential illness and aging, but also to help them prepare for creating something that can be beautiful and loving and amazingly touching, as opposed to something that's filled with grief. So I cover all kinds of topics on the subject of grief and pet loss, and today is going to be a more practical one. It's going to be about what happens when our pet does pass. And it's an uncomfortable topic because we don't even like to think about the eventuality, let alone prepare for it. And when the time does come, if we have not prepared for it, we are asked to make some very difficult decisions under a very stressful circumstance. So today I'm bringing you some information about pet cremation. And I will also let you know I'm a live streamer. So everything I do is from the heart and off the cuff. Nothing is ever scripted. You won't see any like really cool lighting. You won't get all the little, go check out this video. Not going to happen. I am here for you guys and to share with you whatever I can to help make the process easier for you when it comes to preparing for and coping with pet loss. So this channel came into existence about a year ago, not quite a year ago, when my beautiful Lucy, my 13-year-old black lab, crossed to the Rainbow Bridge. And the Rainbow Bridge is a topic for another day, and what happens when our pets actually transition there. But Lucy crossed to the Rainbow Bridge in August of last year on a Monday. It was a beautiful Monday. We had created a ceremony. It was a beautiful ritual. And her passing was absolutely one of the most beautiful experiences of my life. Unfortunately, only 5 days later, my Winston crossed. I came home on a Saturday afternoon and Winston had passed. So that situation was not quite, that was something that was completely unexpected. I was caught totally off guard, and that compounded the grief. There was, even though Lucy's experience had been beautiful and amazing, it was still one of sadness because she was my beautiful baby for 13 years. And then to have one of her brothers, I had 3 dogs at the time, to have one of her brothers cross within a week was devastating. So I understand grief. I understand what happens when our animal companions cross. I understand what happens when our soulmates cross. And so that's why that's how this channel came into being, where it was inspired. And so now I am honored to be able to help you in this way. So let's talk about Lucy and Winston. And I'm going to show you some things and tell you some things. And if you have questions, because some of this now is so routine for me, I understand the topic so thoroughly that I may overlook something. So if you have a specific question, you just put it in the comments below. I respond to all questions. So this right here is my personal memorial for Winston. Winston was my rescue. He was a 11-year-old. We think he was around 11 or 12 when he passed, a King Charles Cavalier, brain fade, King Charles Cavalier. And Winston is the one who crossed 5 days after Lucy. And I spend 2 days a week working with a cremation service. I help people through one of the hardest times of their life. It is one of the most personally rewarding things that I do, is to be able to help people at a time when they're bereft and they don't know how to make a decision. And so that's where I have gotten most of my information. So at this cremation service, I work 2 days a week. It is a solely pet cremation service. And it is probably one of the most respectful ways that you can memorialize your animal companion when their time has come to cross. And so I'm going to show you everything. If you don't want, I'm not going to I'm just going to show you everything that I have. So this is Winston. I have Winston's remains here. I chose to have him cremated and Lucy cremated both. And I chose to have what is called a separated cremation, and I'll explain what the types of cremation are in a second. But Winston was returned to me in this beautiful little velvet bag. It has a little saying about the Rainbow Bridge, and then inside is this little scattering urn. It has a little sticker on the bottom with his name on there and the date of his cremation. So there are a couple different types of cremation. This is what you want to think about. So think about it now before the situation presents itself. And I'm going to try to present this information as succinctly and factually as possible. An individual or private cremation is one where your animal companion would have the entire cremation unit all to themselves. Now imagine these units are very large and they're also sectioned off, but they would be completely on their own, and you receive their remains back in some type of urn. Now we can talk about urns another day. There's all types of options for you, from Etsy to the cremation service that you use to your veterinarian. There are some really beautiful, cool things that you can do. That I just happen to have Winston in this pretty little bag. I just love the saying about the Rainbow Bridge, until we meet again at the Rainbow Bridge. So that is Winston. So the private or individual cremation where they're all on their own. You can also do something called a separated or partitioned cremation. And it just depends on your personal preference. This is where, imagine the unit is very large. Just imagine the size of a building, a garage, that kind of thing. It's very long. And there is enough room that one animal can be placed on one side, one animal can be placed on the other. Sometimes there are dividers between them. But I look at it not only as companionship. It's Winston and Lucy were both, I had them both cremated this way. I look at it, I know it's sentimental, but I felt as if they had a companion with them, that they were not completely alone. It still raises a little bit of emotion after all this time. But some people don't have a preference for it. They don't want that. So you can, but it's for conservation as well. It's also a little bit less expensive because we can care for more than one animal at the same time. But those are generally the two options that you have when you have remains returned. And then the final option is a communal cremation. And a communal cremation is where multiple pets are handled at the same time. They're cared for at the same time, and then their remains are spread communally. Where I happen to share my time, we have a beautiful piece of private property, and the remains are scattered there by the owner of the cremation service. So those are generally the three types of cremation that are available to you. You do want to do a little bit of research on your neck of the woods to see what services are out there, and I would absolutely check reviews on Google, check reviews on websites, because there are some people who are a little bit less scrupulous than others. But for the most part, I have found cremation services to be very attentive and honoring and respectful of your animal companion. And we do everything possible when we're there. And maybe one day you let me know in the comments if you'd like this. Maybe one day I'll do a video from the cremation service so that you can kind of see what goes on behind the scenes. Okay, so that is those are the types of cremations, and you can get your remains back. And then, do you want to see inside? So I'll just show you. It's okay. If you don't, just turn your eyes for a second. I'm just going to open the little container because Winston is sealed in here. I can't get it open. That's okay. But Winston's remains are in here in a little bag so that they wouldn't scatter all over. But if I chose to scatter them, and like he loves the beach, Winston absolutely loved the beach, I would take a little bit of his remains with me to the beach and scatter them while I still had some for myself. And this is also what I did for Winston. Let me get a little bit closer here. So this is a little pendant, and it has his name, Winston, a little angel wing, and then this little cylinder where I placed just a smidge of his remains. And that I got on Etsy. And oh yeah, by the way, I'm a live streamer, always with animals. Dogs knock things over all the time. Horses step on my feet, all that kind of good stuff. So I ordered this one on Etsy. And do I have the name of the shop? I don't think I do, but I'll find that for you guys. I just went to Etsy, and this was so nice. She sent me such a nice personal note along with the with her and the little kit that I could do it. So it was, and I love having him so close to my heart. I just love having him by my heart, even though I know it's not Winston, and that's a topic for another day. Our animal's energy and love that's always with us, but I love to have the sense of him right by my heart. Let's see, what else did I want to show you? So the other things that you can do to memorialize your pet, these are one of the best ways that when you prepare for this in advance, that you can work through some of the grief that's going to come up for you. It's a sad time, and we don't ignore those emotions. Give into them. I cried many tears. I still cry tears over both of my animals, but being able to do these beautiful things for them really helped me. So this is a clay paw print. Let me just get that in the light so you can see. That's Lucy's paw print. So it's just a disc of clay. It's about the size of a large coaster, and an impression was made of her paw. See if I can get that a little bit closer and see if you can see a little bit better. There we go. And then her name is on the bottom, Lucy. So that's one way that you can memorialize your pet. The other way is with an ink impression. So this is Winston's little paw. This is an ink impression of Winston's paw. And most people get the ink paw prints so that they can get a tattoo. It's really easy to take to your tattoo artist and have them create something for you. And it doesn't just have to be black and white. Tattoo artists are amazing what they can do once they have a template to work with. So that is that. And then I want to show you one more thing. This is something that I had done for Lucy as part of the plan. So we had, Lucy was 13. She was very sick. She had lost all control of her bodily functions. Between my veterinarian, her and I had many heart-to-heart Reiki sessions where we just sat in meditation, contemplating and thinking about what was best for her. And so as part of the planning, what I did was have this thing called a Rainbow Bridge Memorial created. So it has the initial poem about the Rainbow Bridge. Her name is on there, a little clipping of her fur, her paw print there, and just a little medallion at the top. So this is one beautiful memorial that I have for her. I'm just going to set this back down. So why do I want to talk about this with you guys and show you these things? Because I want to help you in advance, especially if your pet is terminally ill or aging, reaching that point where you should think about how to help them and how to help yourself when it comes time to transition. This is one of the ways that you can do it. I personally, and so many areas now don't let you actually bury your pet on your property. And if you were to move, if you live in an apartment, all of those things are very difficult. So in this way, you can respectfully honor the relationship that you had with your animal companion, and also have ways to memorialize them and honor them and come up with some beautiful ways to honor their memory. So that's what I wanted to share with you now. If there are any questions, if you want to know anything at all about this, I am happy to share with you. I can share through my own personal experience, and I'm happy to respond to your questions. And also, if you do have a terminally ill pet or an aging pet who's reaching end of life, and you would like some assistance with planning, I do offer that as a service, and you guys can always reach out to me. I'm happy to help you create a plan, create a memorial. I would even be happy to, some people don't even want to pick up the phone and make that call to the cremation service. I can help you work through all of that. I've got all the details. I know exactly what to do. It's one less thing that you need to worry about when the time comes for your pet to pass. So that's it for now. I hope you guys have an amazing day wherever you are in the world. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. May your animal companion continue to light your way, and I will talk to you again soon. Take care. Much love.